One, two. Hey, how y'all doing? Man, thank y'all for coming down. What the fuck? All you good people of Melbourne and came down and from other places as well, I'm sure. We were sitting up just not too long ago talking about, what do we want to open with? I don't know.
But like, there's too many topics that we want to really talk about.
You know what was really interesting?
Tell me.
The one that you asked earlier. If there was a superpower.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about superpowers.
Yeah. This says a lot about people, I think. Yeah.
Of the classic superpowers.
Right. Now, what
you added all these really good ones.
Right. Okay.
I went for like the basic. I thought 5 classics.
Right.
Telepathy.
Yeah.
Telepathy, invisibility,
yep.
Flying.
Yep.
Invisibility.
Yep.
And mind reading.
Right. And then I had a bunch of them.
Like really good ones.
I was like, okay, telekinesis. All right. Then you got the control of the elements. So earth, air, fire, water, metals. Then you had the ability to have like animal powers and insects and shit if you were human.
Like Animorph. Yeah.
Yeah, all that shit. So it came down at the one I didn't know which one's you were like in the what?
I told you it was the same as you. It was teleportation.
Teleportation, right? And then I was like, yeah, teleportation, but then also invisibility. Yeah. Right. Imagine your girlfriend then. You at work. You got on a dress at work. No, but no, seriously.
You could like the pranks that you.
The kind of bullshit you could do if you was invisible.
Think about the pranks you could do to cops.
Oh my God, cops. Oh my God, I'm fucking with every police officer. They're trying to get in their car. I'm driving that shit away like, skirt, skirt, skirt. They're like, what the fuck? No, but invisibility. That okay. We were talking about another concept. When people are talking, sometimes you can get to these off ramps. I got one.
Tell me.
This is not to detract from the one. Invisibility. I was just talking to someone about what happens when you play and how do I do it for as long as I did, because I played for 9 hours with you guys. And the key is to become invisible. Like, yeah, it's the Theo Parrish of it all and all that shit, right? But in the moment when there's a room and there's music playing, for what I found out is my job is to get the fuck out the way as best I can. Now, it's hard because there's lights and there's a stage and there's all this other shit going on, right? But if I can, in those moments where there's music playing, everybody's engaged and dancing and shit, right? But then if I can go, let me get the fuck out the way. Let me not be here. And let me tune in to some kind of intentional concept. An intentional concept being love. Love. There's love in the room. I love this music. I love this moment. I love it too. So let me get the fuck out the way, because it's not necessarily about the Theo Parrish of it all per se. It's about me getting the fuck out the way, because what I realize is if I do that, then there's more reflection in the room. It becomes, y'all get it, it gets you. Y'all get it, it gets you. And then I get to be a little bit objective. And then it starts to talk to me and tell me what the next one is to play. Now, sometimes you can get to a place where it starts to become a subterfuge, and I don't even know what the fuck I'm playing next. I'm just playing what comes. But yeah, that was.
You called yourself a walkie-talkie.
Yes.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
You just sort of like a little signal.
Yep.
And you're like, no, this is what the room, like this is what the room needs. Yeah. And just reading people and especially doing your own warm-up like that. You know, there's no warm-up DJ. You're like, I'm going to warm this room up myself, and like starting out with just like a janky groove, shit that you'd play at home, shit you put on when you're like cleaning or you're cooking or whatever, and then gradually just like entrancing people. And I said, like, when it was 9 o'clock, you'd already been playing for like 8 hours. And I was like, this dude's just getting started.
Yeah, I'm only beginning. Like I'm just warming
You're
up
doing
the
that
embers.
shake. You're like,
Just warming up the embers, getting it all together, preparing a meal, you know. But because it becomes a thing where you have to wait. And it's not like that everywhere. And, you know, in some places, like in it kind of, it's interesting. Don't take for granted the beauty of not being connected to the rest of the world. Trust me, it is a benefit. It gives you a uniqueness. And not to diss the rest of the world, because I know they're going to see this. No, fuck you guys. I love you guys, but fuck you guys for now, because right now I'm over here. When I have a talk over there, we'll big up you guys, and we'll say fuck these places, okay? But right now we're over here, so fuck you guys. Love y'all, but fuck y'all. That's how it goes. It's regional.
it's regional.
It's regional, right? It's just what it is.
We have to live in the present.
We got to live in the present.
You live in the present more than a
in
lot
the
of
present.
people I know.
Because if some shit jumps off, I got to be dealing with the people here. Ain't nobody from Chicago going to save me. That's what it is. So I got, but to be serious about it, never discount the isolation that it provides. Isolation is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Connectivity can be very different because what it does is it pollutes you with other standards and ideas. You are more connected to your roots, and it comes out, right? So when you come in and you're an outsider, then it's a very different kind of crowd you're playing for. Now, like I was saying to the young lady that brought me coffee earlier, wherever she is, thank you very much. There she is in the back. It's very simple. Let's say take not going to put any names, but there's some cities in Europe where they're very used to dance culture and people coming in from Detroit to play with them because they're very, very, very enamored with the idea of the techno. Yeah? They know the techno. They are the techno because of Kraftwerk.
Connoisseurs.
Yes. But they won't dare dig into, you know, some of the different old things that maybe predate some of the things that they were doing.
No, it must be pure.
With the
pure
arpeggio of it all, and maybe I don't know. Dedication by Herbie Hancock maybe predates everything that Kraftwerk was doing, but it's okay. We won't say that. You guys, there's an ownership that gets kind of stolen that I'm not necessarily comfortable with, and it comes down to there not being a certain amount of history being done on purpose. So there tends to be sort of it's ours, right? You guys aren't burdened with that at all. You're not burdened with it. And this feels like a disconnection because you can't plug in, but it gives you an advantage because it gets you to approach music in any kind of direction, a different way. And that's just taking one fraction of a genre. That's just taking one fraction. Same goes with just about everything else. Embrace the solitude. Embrace it. It's a beautiful thing. It gives you a definition. It really does.
Do you mean doing this on a dance floor?
Everything.
Closing your eyes and like just going solo and hearing the story like that? Yeah.
And having your own relationships to music outside of what you've been told it is or what you've been... it's like Taibo versus Kung Fu. Like there's this guy named Billy Blanks on TV in America at one point, and he would do these like aerobic kicks and shit. You know what I mean? And then there's people that actually practice proper, martial arts. It's that difference where if you've been told a thing is a thing and this is a front kick, then you lose all the nuance of putting chi behind your kick and the sides and all these other things. So it's that you guys have that relationship, and that's something that when I show up to play, I can feel that. Like like it's hard for me, going back to what I was saying, it's hard for me to not engage with every one of you when you come up talking to me. Like in different cities, somebody come up with Theo, I'm going to bed. Fucking talk to you. You probably go to the Bird Guy or something. You know what I'm saying? But like here, everybody's so real. I want to have a 4-hour conversation with everybody I meet, and it's exhausting, and I just can't. There's just not hours in a day because your smiles are genuine, your dance moves mean it. You show up because you want to be here, but I loved it because in the beginning of the party, people gathered, but they weren't gonna go snap off because the party hasn't happened yet. It's honest. My friends ain't here yet. I'm not going off on this song. Hey, for what? It hasn't happened yet. And then I react to that. Then I play less. I play more loose. I stretch out more. I'm playing dub. And I'm like, I rewrite. We can relax. Word.
It's a house party, man.
Yeah.
You can't just start playing like 160 BPM at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when everyone's sober and they probably just got up.
They're like, yo, what are you doing, dog?
Chill.
Relax, man.
So, well, if you're like, okay, if you're rocking up to a party, I mean, the longest I've seen you play is 12 hours.
Yeah.
But what, like, do you see that you have a purpose when you go there? Like, are you like, this is my job? Like, I mean, obviously the job is to play bunts and tracks. Yeah. But do you feel like a responsibility of like, I got to teach these people something, or like I got to make them feel something, or or maybe your purpose is just to like fully express yourself, be that walkie-talkie?
I'll tell you this: there's a correlation between how many times you play versus how many times you listen. Like if you play a lot, your task for listening is now exponential, because not only do you need your music if you're a selector, and this is also, I don't know how it relates if you're a performative music person, if you're a live musician. I haven't been able to distill what listening does for the live musician. I know that for me, as a producer or kind of like a studio rat and a DJ, that listening is more or less essential. Like it's very essential. You need to listen way more than you play. What happens with a whole lot of activity? What happens with a whole lot of activity is in terms of your going out and playing, you can miss out on some essential listening. And so what that means is your bag gets old because you won't go back and replace that song with this other song or this other song because you haven't done the diligence of listening and knowing what those songs actually do to you. Now, that is not even a discount the bravery of exposing that to other people. You don't know what it does to you, so you're going to have your balls ain't going to be big enough to play in front of a whole bunch of people because you haven't let it touch you. And so if you understand what those songs do, that might mean several hours of listening to it. So I've been known to put a song on and play that motherfucker all day long when I haven't learned it, so that by the time I get to the set, I at least believe in it. It may not work. Like, for instance, that opera shit I played.
Iconic.
It took me years to be able to, how the fuck am I going to play that shit?
You've been sitting on that for years?
Years. Been trying to figure out what to play to get to that moment. How do I get there? Because if I can get there, then I can stop. Like, I can stop this shit.
Don't stop.
No, I'm not going to stop because there's the trick. Because as soon as you think you play that one song that you can't get, that you could get away with playing, then now what's the next challenge? Find another. I don't know. I got some more listening to do. But it's that same idea that you have to challenge yourself in what you absorb. And I imagine for live musicians, it's what you can absorb and what you can pull off and what you cover them songs you can't fucking do.
It's about that. It's about like, I mean, I'm like speaking as a live musician, and I know there's a bunch of heads in here that are live musicians. It's like listening is probably the most essential component of practice for musicians. And like JJ, like, you know, like being taught how to listen properly and like to really sit with a track and understand it. And like, I don't know what you're like, right? But when I first hear a track, I'll hear like the melody and the timbre and the drums. I won't probably hear the lyrics until like 10 listens later. I feel like you're like this as well. You'll listen to a song like for 3 days straight and just ruin it for yourself. But yeah, I do that. But it's like, yeah, listen to that shit, get really absorbed with it, and then try all these things that are way too hard for you.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the only way that you can improve, you know?
Fall on your fucking face.
Is sound like shit. Honestly, if you're a musician, ultimately you want to practice something that you sound like absolute shit doing. Because, and then you sleep on it a few times and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you can do it. Yeah. And you're like, I'm not train wrecking it. My neighbors might think I'm good now. I don't sound like a kookaburra getting choked, like, you know? But yeah, like, but also like listening and as a DJ, I mean, as a DJ and a musician, it's so different, right?
Yes.
Because when you're a DJ, you're like, hear a song and you're like, I could fit that in that mix.
Right.
Oh yeah, that fits in there. Like, oh, like
right.
da-da-da.
Yes.
And you like, you know, it's your medium.
Right.
So you have this totally different relationship with it. But when you're a musician, or you're a listener, some of the best non-musicians I know are the best listeners.
See.
Because you're practicing the art of like connectivity. That's what you're doing.
Yes.
And if you can practice that and you're like, then you're speaking to the artist. You're like allowing them, their work to live through you, you know?
Yes. I'll tell you what.
Tell me.
I tell you.
Yeah, man.
I tell you. One of the biggest learning experiences was that moment where I went out and toured a band. And
what year was this, Theo?
I don't know. Years are bad. I want to say that was 2017.
Okay, that's good enough. It's probably
close enough. That shit, the respect I gained for live musicianship, oh my God. Okay, this is what I learned from that shit. DJs are the most egotistical fuckers on the planet. Don't let any DJ trying to come up being humble, no, they're not. No, they're not. They just found a place to put their ego. That's it. That's why I was talking all that I get out the way shit. Yeah, I get out the way because if my ego showed up, y'all motherfuckers will leave. Every DJ needs a fucking hobby unrelated to music. No. You better do something else with your time because this is what happens with a DJ. You get to put on mastered music with the best takes. And then you get to decide, well, let's play before it, after, then there. And then, if you're an asshole, you're not even going to play the vinyl. You're going to play some digital shit because your ass going to leave your vinyl at home because you a bitch ass. You're going to leave your vinyl at home. You're going to play some old MP3.
Not even AVES. Not even WAVs.
And then you're going to play for an hour, right? And then you're gonna sit up and you're gonna have headphones on, a hat, some sunglasses. You're gonna put the auto mix function on, and then on top of it, you're gonna sit back and start pointing fingers in the crowd.
Don't forget the quantize button. The
quantize button. Let's not look. It is the most egotistic relationship to music. When you are tasked with having to know the song being in key, on time, and then in the pocket. And then communicative with everybody around you on stage, and then communicate with the crowd. That's tight. Well, and then on top of it, be paid 1/10 of what the DJ makes. The zeros moved per member, and then tour for 16 dates. My ass was up on stage like this. I was like, dun, 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 dun. Oh shit! And my whole band was looking at me like, look up, Schroeder. Like, look. Oh shit! Cause like, Yo, you don't realize how fucking hard that shit is.
You weren't in your living room anymore.
No.
That's not your classic thing.
And I was the motherfucker that knew I was touring with heavy motherfuckers. So I sat down for a month, an hour each day, knowing my songs. I was like, I'm not fucking up. Amp gonna be up there. Quasi, fuck. All this, nope. Ain't not gonna try to tell me. Shit, I'm gonna know these songs. But it's different. You practice in a room by yourself, and then they on stage, and like, Theo, look up. And I'm like, no, I can't look up. I'm not gonna miss my shit. No, I can't look up. So the respect I gained for that is just.
It's like touch typing, but being a musician.
Oh my God, it's monstrous. So like I would say that the difference is immense, and there should no studio rat or DJ should ever get offended when a live musician shows up and doesn't respect their shit, because the respect should definitely come the other way first, because we sit up and play other people's mastered, finished music at the best takes, and we have the benefit of it being ready for consumption from the people that showed up.
You better be careful, because there's musicians here, you're going to blow smoke up their ass, and they're going to be a pain in my...
Well, how about this? Respect the DJ, because we know a whole lot more bad performances than y'all. Okay? You're a little sharp. You're a little sharp. We can tell when you're a little sharp, because we heard every time that one motherfucker played that one. Like, this is where we win with DJs, right? Y'all motherfuckers don't know music at all. You know your music, but you don't know the body of motherfucking music. Y'all know 1, 2, 3 artists maybe. We know 300,000 motherfuckers at once and they best performances. So let's not play the music knowledge game. What you can play is the performative game. Like, we don't know nothing about being in the pocket, because the pocket's already established for us. Our pocket requires us to actually be in tune with the crowd in front of us, which a lot of DJs just choose not to do.
What does pocket mean to you? I get asked this all the time when I say the word pocket. People are like, what the fuck's pocket?
What's the pocket? It's the relationship to where the rhythm falls. That is the pocket. So pocket might be like this. Boom, 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 and the ability to find where it falls every time, and everybody up there with you being able to know where it falls in time to where that rhythm hits. Now, it's different if it's boom, 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 and okay, your pocket ain't right. That's not how we going. The pocket is leaning. So it's whether or not it's your micro timing, to put it in scientific terms. That's how I interpret it, the timing. That's what makes the MPC such a beautiful machine, because there's been no machine invented since that does micro timing like that. Particularly the 2000 XL. Don't nobody do timing like 2000 XL. That is the closest to real pocketing that I've ever heard in any kind of machine. Not the 3000, not the 2500. Sorry, it's the 2000 XL. That is the one. I don't give a fuck.
You heard it here, folks.
That is the pocket. Like, it got a lean on it, something awful. But that is my idea of the pocket. It's everyone knowing exactly where the one is implied by the drums particularly, but then it's everybody else's musical relations to the micro timing of where the one is. That's the pocket to me.
It's like how you snuggle into the bar.
Yeah.
Do you snuggle in back? Do you drive like you're like this, or are you this guy? Because I'm going to ask you something, right? So do you think by the term pocket, that it's got to lean back? Because like we've experienced a bit of like a cultural shift in pocket.
Yes.
Where with trap and drill and all these kind of newer rap genres, these rappers are anticipating the beat. They're not sitting back. They're actually like kind of full steam ahead past the beat.
Yeah, they're kind of ahead of the pocket. And in a weird way. Because here's the thing, right? At a certain point, like if you took, like, say, a Doobie Brothers, right? And then you take a P-Funk. And then you take a James Brown, and you take a Fela, and let's say you take a Madlib. Mm-hmm. Madlib is just lazy. Yeah, bruh. I called you lazy. Nah. But only when it comes so far into where his pocket is. He got a lazy pocket, not his output. His output is ridiculous, and his musicianship is nuts. But what I'm talking about is his pocket is lazy. He don't care if he's leaning this way, this way, or that way. You can't find his one pocket. Where JD, on the other hand, you can find where his pocket is.
No, you can find Madlib's pocket, man.
No, not at all, because he's multi-pocketed.
Yeah, he is multi-pocketed. He's an eccentric motherfucker. But I feel like, right, this, you know that song, the Quasimodo, go away, man, just go away.
Right.
And it's like,
and he's way.
It's like a robot that's like kind of just like down the street.
Yeah, but then if you take the Yesterday's New Quintet shit, what the fuck?
Fully different.
Totally different. Then if you take some of the production he did with Guilty, and then if you take it, Freddie Gibbs, I mean, it's like it just goes on and on and on and on. So he's a multi-pocket, multi-dimensional dude. And you find that most people, if they get a chance to keep developing, they become multi-pocketed. I like to consider myself multi-pocketed.
You are multi-pocketed.
Now. But at one point I was not. I wasn't able to be, you know.
Why do you think that changed?
Just growth, pain, suffering.
Age.
Suffering. Age
Love,
and
life.
suffering.
Jane Austen.
Just the time on the planet. Rotations around the sun will give you more of a pocket. Never be afraid to lean into what the fuck happened to you. Never be afraid, because that's going to season you. Try not to, like I had this one discussion with this kid. He was like, I can't help but get stoned all the time. I was like, that's dope. Good for you. Great. Good. Go through some pain when you can't get no weed. Okay, now go through some pain when you can't get no weed, no water, you could be a rent dude. Now go through some pain when you got kids and then add that shit. I mean, just exponentialize your experience as a human being, and then you'll find so many pockets. So once you find all these different pockets, then you'll find out very simple, universal human truth is that everybody's got some shit to go through. And it's whether or not the different multi-pockets that you actually have, that's the ability for you to relate. And that ain't got shit to do with sales.
It's syntax, like we were talking about before. It's like, you know, music is, even whether you're a DJ, whether you're a musician, producer, whatever, it's ultimately you're learning another language. And you're like, how are you going to, like someone significant to me said the other day, I said, well, how do you convey, like, why do you convey the message you do in music? And they were like, I say the shit through music that I could not say any other way. You know, it's like you're learning another language, and if you become fluent enough at it, then you're going to get more articulate. You're going to get more eloquent and illustrious about how you can say shit.
Absolutely.
But like, especially like over the past, like your releases over, like since you last been here, what, 2019?
Wow, yeah.
Was it? Like, like Wadaji, like the 12s, like the Weirdo, and the one with Cell, and the one with Marisa, and then like, I mean, you've put out 2 LPs this year alone. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's not that.
But there's the pocket in all of them is completely different.
Yeah. So
like, the one difference I really loved about your record with Marisa and the solo record was that you're illustrating where you are with Marisa, and I want to know if that's an intentional decision, because you sort of leave. I think since it really spoke to me, and This Is For You. Yeah. There's this one run that she does, and everyone's like, eh! And you left yourself being like, yeah, in the background.
Yes.
And in the record you did together, there was a whole lot more of that. And there was all this candid sound in the background.
Oh, yeah. It was always there.
And why'd you do that?
Because I wasn't recording at a professional studio.
Were you upstairs?
Yeah, I just sat the crib, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the way that album come about was really a special thing. On This Is For You, Marisa and I had a very new relationship. And so she had been kind of burned by the guys in the industry by doing stuff with them. She had a history with a couple cats that I won't mention because it's not fair to do that to them. But I kind of had to clean up their mess a little bit, and she was wary of working with me, you know, and basically she charged the shit out of me.
She fleeced you, boy.
She charged the shit out of me for This Is For You. And so when This Is For You were finished and it did really well, right after that, then COVID hit. And then I ran into her mid-COVID or somewhere around there. And she was like, Theo, we got momentum with that record. It's dope. You know, I want to do more. And I was like, Marissa, I love you, baby, but God, dog, I can't even. Yo. She was like, just get me on the back end. Let's go. And I was like, word. I ain't got to pay no upfront fees. You want word? Let's go. So we go in there. And the first jam she opens up with was Free Myself, and it had to do with this heavy relationship she was going to, and my goodness, without putting her business in the street like that, the woman is seasoned, you know, soldier of love for real, and I happened to be going through a thing myself, and it was weird how that whole record was something that ended up being poignant for both of us, you know, and quite illustrative of the different things we're going through with our significant others. Hers had to do with what she'd gone through. Mine had to do with what I was going through. And wow, and like the woman stretched me out. It's funny how the studio album, Bertha, that was about my truck.
Oh, that's who she is.
Yeah, that's who Bertha was. Bertha's my truck.
The Motor City, guys.
Yes.
The Motor City.
Yes, Bertha's my truck. Cornbread and cowrie shells. Cornbread, if you think about bread in terms of the Rastafarian way, bread and corn is always had to do with money and abundance. And cowrie shells is the African idea of currency and money. And Bertha is the only vehicle that I have that actually makes me money. I have a couple other ones. Is, you know, misappropriation of funds when everything was good and shit. I did a lot of dumb shit with cars, you know, because I'm a car nut. I like to go fast. Don't tell my mama. But I like to go fast. And when I go fast, things slow down. So with these different vehicles I had, Bertha was the slowest one, save for the Cruiser, which is broken. Doesn't matter. But that's the only one I go pick my records up with. It's the one that I go get my kids with. It's the one that gets me to the airport and back. So cornbread, cowrie shells for Bertha. That was a singular studio album, right? What's funny is that almost all of those tracks I did for Bertha, I offered to Marissa.
Really?
Yes, and she didn't want none of them.
Okay, this is interesting because they both have such a different flavor. Like,
very different.
The Bertha tracks are a lot more, they're like a little bit cleaner, they're like more driven, and the ones on Marissa's record are like, they're rough, they're like, you can hear the room, you can, like, there's the wormhole aspect, and there's all these beautiful imperfections that are left in there.
Yes.
Which is kind of what gives the record so much character.
See, it's crazy.
But also, like, you since the This Is For You 12, I kind of loved it because since you guys did that track together, I feel like there's been this beautiful surge of femininity that's come through your music.
Yeah, man.
But in this really beautiful way, like the way that it sounds like from the first listen to that record, I was like, man, they put some trust in each other. Like, you can hear the trust within the first track. You're like, okay, this is open heart stuff, you know? Yeah. And like, so with the writing of that record, was she kind of bringing you these stories? Did she have lyrics, or was this a collaborative sort of thing where you were both sort of trying to heal?
It was crazy because the way she came at me was real interesting. Like, she panned those tracks. She was like, "That's cool, but," and I was like, "Oh no, shit, she don't want that. That's my shit. I mean, but then I played for some of the half bakes and some of the just nutty things, and she was like, "I like that." I was like, word. So I
It's
said,
really steezy. I know why she liked it.
I was like, all right. Then she was like, I like that one, and you should do something with this one, and that one, and that one, and that one. I was like, bet. All right. She wanted all the wild shit. And so I was like, okay, let's go. The first one she did was that one, and she had that record. Like she wrote the lyrics to that flat out. She wrote all of that shit. You know,
And what about the vocal arrangement though? Because you know, every time you work with a vocalist, it's almost like you're. I don't know what your process is with it, but you play vocalist like an instrument in a way, because a lot of it is these like, especially tracks like the Spiral Staircase and that kind of thing where. Yeah, you're in this sort of wormhole, and maybe there's there's some singular vocal lines that you're cascading amongst each other to make a whole shape. And so, did you do that together, or
that was all me? Yeah, that was a lot of me doing post production. Like she would do a Passover stuff with the main things, but to be clear, the Free Myself single, that song, not the whole album, she came with that written. I had a lot of input in a lot of the other like vocal writing of what the song was doing and shit like that. But in terms of the Past Is Over, the overdubs, and like a lot of the repeating moments and stuff like that, a lot of post production, especially in Spiral Staircase.
Yeah, like so it's because it sort of like actually embodies the name of the song.
Yeah,
it's just like woo, just whizzing around.
But it's also an element in my studio. There's a spiral staircase that goes from the top all the way down to the bottom of my building, and so I also think of it too, like, you know, you end up in your mind and you do all these different things. Like Spiral. Now that I come to think of it, I actually kind of half co-wrote Spiral Staircase. Like she sung it, so that to me, if someone sings what you wrote, you're still co-writing it, because it's the phrasing, another part of what a vocalist does that makes it the rest. You can put the pen down on the lyrics and all that, but it's the delivery that makes it co-writing, in my opinion. You know, and so to me, even though that I came up with the main lyrics for it, but it was her delivery is what makes it a co-writing piece for as far as I'm concerned. And so she did her motherfucking thing on that. Maybe we should play it.
Yeah, we should play it.
Yeah, we're gonna play it.
Cue it up.
Play it.
We've just been harping on about it.
You know what? Yeah.
The record here, we got the record here. I don't see it.
I don't see it.
Oh, there.
Oh, it's over there.
Got it.
There's over there. You ready?
Oh, thanks so much.
You gonna play the music, man. Yeah, you gonna play it. Spiral Staircase. This is when I get to find out whether my record is easy to read. See how quick he takes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's boot camp, Danny. Let's
6,
go.
7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20, 30. Oh shit, it's taking a long time. Right? Here it is. That's not it. That's not Spiral Staircase.
Okay, you got to score 1 of how readable it is.
See, fuck.
He put the wrong goddamn song.
See, this is something else I was thinking about too, right? This does bring another point up. Right now, I do believe there's more regular people listening to vinyl right now. So, like, I didn't make it right for DJs, really. It should be for listeners. And so now we're finding out. There it is.
Woo.
You're walking down the spiral staircase.
Yo, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm realizing I wrote the lyrics to that. Yeah, I wrote the it's weird because the writing process of lyrics is so different because like when she heard that I was like, okay, cool. And I always had it in my mind to do remixes of it, to do different shit with it and all that other shit. But I was like, no, leave it alone. Stop fucking around. Let the moment be the moment. But I wrote that, and that was about a relationship and some insecurity relationship I was going through. And like I was kind of like, why won't you love me? Why won't you love me? You worried about what other people are thinking? Why won't you love me? So, but I was yearning for something, and that kind of yearning, it was kind of like, it was the yearning outward and inward at the same time because I was looking for something fine, but it wasn't necessarily the purest thing. And so when you're not looking for something substantial, then you end up kind of hurting yourself trying to find something. So there I am going down the spiral staircase, but I thought she was going down it. I was worried about what she was doing.
Was that a bit of a projection, Your Honor?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Just, it's a complete projection. So the beauty of it was to have her interpret it, and that was how to make simple. But to your point, there was a lot of post production in that. That's a much shorter song. I actually repeated that one phrase I loved at the end of it because I just thought it was like, I love that part. I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one.
that part.
But like, okay, so when you're working with her, like for example, or a vocalist or whatever, so is she just looping it and you're like, that was the one, stop,
Nope.
that was it?
No, she did it once, and then I went back.
Of course, she's a one-take wonder.
Oh yeah, she's one take
She's
wonder.
so great.
Oh, she comes. Man, she Jordan Game 6 put. She all day. That's her. She's one hitter quitter all day. Like, oh, this is for you. She came in the car. I was like, shit, we're done. Like, woo.
Oh my
like,
God, really?
Yeah, she's a monster. But then she did that one, but then she did like 8 other passes. Yeah, and I just kept the track running for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So she just did that pass, then another one, and then she went home.
Yeah, and then you've got like a gold mine to sit there for not sleep for a week and
just
rearrange them.
Yeah, that's yeah. Just got my scientist on, and it was crazy. Yeah, that she's a monster.
What do you think is like is one thing you've learned from her and she's learned from you?
How to be intuitive when I play, to follow. And that was the beauty of her picking songs that, like, I thought I had finished these songs for her, and that's what Bertha was, right? But then she was like, "Wow, don't give me that shit. Give me some room in there." And that's what I learned. You got to leave room for people. And that was what I learned, was that she went in there. The tracks that they were before I did finish them were not, like, most of the songs, I added things over what she put in there. So I'm following what she did. She stretched me the fuck out. Hands down. She stretched me out. And so that call and response thing was ever present in just about every track on the whole album. Was the tracks were ridiculously raw. Some of them just beats. Like Surround the World has 2 versions. One of them never made the album, but this is a whole nother version that it was gonna be this other thing. And I was like, yeah, all it did was that. That's all it did, and she just flipped it. And then I was like, oh, let me try this. Oh, let me try this. Oh, let me try this. So the process that I learned as a producer with her was make room for who you're working with, because it would demand you to stretch out and find what fits, and that's what happened.
Just listening again.
You want to check that part out? Yeah, let's do Surround the World, please. Yo, thank you. Yeah.
So we wanted to say this at the start, but we just launched straight into it. But
Yeah, we did.
if there's any specific questions you guys want to ask, like it's a room full of heads here.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
Okay.
But you got to
Ryan.
speak up real good.
I've just noticed the like really punky influence in the drums almost, and I think the last track you played kind of obviously made me realise that you're into that stuff. So was that intentional? That kind of driving beat?
Absolutely. Every time I put, what you doing there, brother? Now every beat is intentional. Every placement's intentional. There's no haphazardness. Like basically, she heard that, and I was on some kind of like emulating Bohannon shit. Like,
Okay.
yeah, I was trying to get to that whole snare on the thing and like, what is that feeling? And how come I don't hear that in dance music so much, where somebody's like hitting you on the top of your head with a snare like that? I need like, where's that at? And I don't hear it. So often, one of my biggest challenges is to get out of the same mode. There's like 7 fucking rhythm patterns in house music that I can't hear anymore. The boots and pants. No more boots and pants. Boots and pants and boots and pants. I've had enough. We've had 20 years of boots and pants. Can't do it. Not doing boots and pants. You can have elements of boots and pants. I'm tired of it. And if not boots and pants, there's another one. Tick, 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 tick. Dink, 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 dink. Can't do it. No mas. There's another one. Beaning, 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 beaning. Made me want to throw stuff at people. We've heard that shit too much. That's enough. That's enough. So my challenge with that one and on Spiral Staircase, and is often with just about every beat I make, is to undo what it is, tropes that I've heard before. And if there is a trope, use an element of the trope, but then put a different sound in to fuck people's heads up or to fuck my own head up. Yeah. Like, mostly for me. Like, I love that people dig it, but I'm doing it because I'm fucking bored. Like, I don't want to hear that shit like that. How about we do some other shit and make it fucked up? Let's make it fucked up and make these, let's fuck up the algorithm a little bit with these damn, with these automic function shit. This is not, don't play my shit if you're not ready to mix it anyway. Like, you can listen to it, yeah, but just listen to it. Sit your monkey ass down and listen to it. You're not ready to mix it yet. There's grown people out there know how to mix that shit. Okay? Let them do it. Let them show you. If you're not ready, just leave it alone. Just leave. There's plenty of basic motherfuckers out there to play and listen shit. In fact, I'm sure there's a fucking program somewhere that allow you to play that shit. This ain't that. This is advanced shit. Not that I'm so advanced. It's just that I'm bored and I've had a lot of time to do this shit over and over and over again. I'm a study of Larry fucking Heard. If you listen to that man's rhythms, my God.
The greatest.
Just, you can hear all those different derivative fucking tropes that he did first. So quit playing with me. Just quit playing with me. So Spiral Staircase, I deliberately did something that wasn't going to be and the same with that, and same with just about everything on the album. Cause I'm bored. I can't.
And it was cool that you interpreted like as a punk drum.
Yes.
Because if you put like crash cymbals in between and all that stuff, you got Bad Brains. And that's like what you're referring to, right, is the super touch shit fit like closer, which I was thinking to myself, I was like, God, he gets more punk with every year, Theo. And then you close with some live Bad Brains at the end of a fucking 9-hour set. And I was like, I feel so validated and so seen. And this is amazing. And I love you. And then you just like, you brought the punk. Okay, we're gonna talk about processes. You've sprinkled that little like you're just here to fuck up the algorithm. You're always fucking up algorithms. You've just been sprinkling like viruses into the algorithm on every process.
Yeah, man, you got to, man. Because the algorithm's going to take our souls if we let it do that. You're like, it's going to take everything you believe in as a human. It's going to take your shit. So you better do something to make it fucked up so that it can't catch you quite away. You got to duck the punches. And so, like, part of ducking the punches, you know, play some shit that you shouldn't be able to get away with, because guess what? You might, if people are with it, you can
That's
get away
how you
with
find
it.
the right people, right?
That's right. You gotta find the right people. You can find the right people.
Okay, I'm gonna push back on that though, because
sure.
you've got all this like sort of new technology. I mean, the way that technology is progressing,
Yes.
the way that people consume music and
Yes.
consume film and everything is changing so rapidly to the point where, because of like the story format, people are claiming that we're going to be watching full-length films in a wide, not a wide screen anymore. You know, that shit's all going to change.
Yes.
And like, so, and things are in 15-second little powers.
It's
But, okay, I know you're like, eye roll, and I am too.
Yeah.
But compare that, like, so then you got Herbie Hancock that was like, okay, whatever these kids are doing, I'm going to fucking adopt it, the technology, and I'm going to do something with it that's still Herbie.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you could do that with the 15-second shit?
I don't know. I'm gonna find out.
Would you try?
I did kind of.
Oh, really? How did it go?
Weird.
A guy that makes 8.5-minute songs tries to do like...
because this what I did, right? All those tropes I was just complaining about.
You made TikTok dances for all of them.
No TikTok dances. No TikTok dances. But in a way, I was like, let me make that album that is for children learning how to mix. What does that look like? And somehow is, to my man's credit, that punk rock as hell. Aggressive than a motherfucker. Like the opposite of what Free Myself was. I consciously sat down and made, cause somebody challenged me to do it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, fuck you. The challenge was this. All your beats, they're not hard anymore, Theo. And I was like.
What star sign's Marisa Rose?
I want you to make a simple album. I bet you can't make a simple album anymore. I was like, I can't make a simple album anymore. It's got to be all pretty. Yeah, I don't want any pretty. Just give me rough beats. Okay. So I did that. It's on a little thing, a chipstick. We'll get to that in a minute. But I guess the thing that I run into with a lot of things that happen is that there's a difference between doing it for, like, we have to ask ourselves the question, are we making it to be consumed? Are we making it for ease of use? Are we making it, what's our intention at the end of the day? And so if I could take a piece of that theory and go, all right, well, this isn't necessarily for algorithm's sake. This isn't necessarily bite-sized bites so that it can be grabbed. I'm always resistant to anything mechanized taking a piece of humanity and doing what it wants to with it without humanity at least having an authorization, writing process, have a reason. And so that was where I was at. Because I doubt I'll be able to get into a place where I'll just go, let me just put this shit, do a 1-bar loop, and let that rock out. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. I just can't. No, I just can't. But if I do that and I add some nutty shit all over it, then have I changed the algorithm then? Have I then made a difference? So my challenge was to make a quote unquote, dare I say it, techno album, right? But not have anything syncopated except for the beat. So the only thing that's on this album is the rhythms, and then everything else I played over live. And I tried to make the most simple, repetitive, weirdest sounds that I could find, non-musical sounds that I could do.
Ooh.
Would you like to hear one of the weird sounds? Those strange
Yes.
things? Okay, I have to get out. I have to get out one of my chipsticks for this. It's not on wax. I have to give you a chipstick. Yes. Let's talk about something while I dig out my chipstick.
All right. How important is it for you to engage with young people?
Oh, highly important. I got kids. Real important. It's important. Yeah. Somebody better help me. So everyone between my age and my children's age, help. Help. 6 and 16. Yeah, help. Help. And I'm in America. Got a girl and a boy. The oldest is my son, Evan. The youngest is my daughter, Nia. Lord have mercy. Ouch. Yikes. Yikes. Help. I'm not playing. Help. I'm not kidding. Fucking musician. All right. Here's one of these things. Okay, here we go. All right, I see I got my, Tweety Bird going on. Because they don't let you write on chipsticks. Have you noticed that?
Anybody write on them?
Yeah, they don't put, remember how on tape, they would put little stickers, you could write what the fuck is on there? You know how many chipsticks I got in my, hold on, I'm about to fuck y'all up.
You need a label maker, dude.
Nah, man.
I'm going to get you a label maker.
They need to put label makers on these motherfuckers. Look. All right, because I don't know how this shit works, okay? Look, I got a lot of fucking chipsticks. And they're all 128. Okay? So, I spend months and months and months putting together, right? Then I go play somewhere, and I come back, and I leave them. Oh, shit. Now somebody got all my unreleased shit all at once. Fucking shit. This is fucked up. And then you go home, and I got to prepare for the next set, and it's taking me 3 days because I done new edits and shit. And so, to replicate one of these motherfuckers, it take me half a day. But if I was just picking out records, it just fuck. Fuck all this shit. Yes, help me. I need help. Everybody make babies so I could be all right with my kids. Because I'm not prepared for this new shit. I'm not. I'm fucking not. You think I'm playing with y'all. I'm not fucking around. This shit is no joke. All right, I got this fucked up shit. I got made the worst. All right,
Do we get to know the random sound before or after?
Huh?
The random sound that you said you put over the drums, do we get to know what it is before or after?
I mean, just listen. Because this whole album is based on that theory.
Okay.
So absolutely nothing is sequenced except for just the drums. Everything else is me playing live over it. All right, so I'm going to give you some titles. I'll let you guys pick. All right, we're going to vote.
This is democracy, baby.
Yeah. All right. Applesauce onion rings. Okay, who's voting for applesauce onion rings? Anyone?
We don't know
Put
the
your
rest.
hands up. You got to put your hands up.
How do we know there's no other options yet?
Just fucking put your hands up if you like the title. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Remember 8. 8 for applesauce onion rings.
Up here.
Framework punishment. Oh, everybody oh shit. Y'all so dirty, motherfucker.
Dude.
Framework. It looks like the Leo. Framework punishment. Orbital drill bit. Okay, all right.
Hey, some of you voted twice. I don't know, man.
All right.
It's his
Self-explanatory steam shovel theory. All right, looks like...
You're worried about your kids, and then you've got song names like this.
I know. 4 tires out the mud. All right. Orange barrel action. Look.
Damn.
It's looking like framework punishment is going up against self-explanatory steam shovel theory. All right, so framework punishment again.
Woo.
Let's count these fucking votes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20. All right. Now, self-explanatory. Which one did I?
Theory.
Yeah.
That one.
How many of that?
Oof.
Self-explanatory wins. That's what we're listening to. That's what we're doing. No, it didn't make it. Over the Drew didn't get no votes. It just didn't. Huh? It doesn't matter. Because I'm the idiot that titled these. Okay? I'm not qualified. Something's wrong with me. All right, here we go. Let's see what we get going on with this. Oh, good. This is not laborious, I don't think. It doesn't seem very laborious. Oh, why is it in reverse? That's no good.
That was Jamie Bennett. You always do that to
That's
the next DJ.
Yeah, man. Right. That's like pitching the turntable all the way down. Or fuck around and take your needle with you and your next guy. I know about that trick.
You gotta keep it interesting.
Yeah, you gotta trip the next guy out the gate when he's running. Here we go. I'm gonna turn this on. This crazy shit. Just trip the fuck out. All because somebody challenged me. Now, if it loses sound the same, it's because I will edit the motherfuckers, but I refuse to use the syncopation across the board. Yeah. It's I got issues.
Folks, if you got a teenager, that's what you got to play them.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's for the kids.
Soon.
That's for the babies.
Keep the children zany. My brain did that thing just towards the end where the one all of a sudden flips over to the next bar, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
I didn't know. It just flipped.
Yeah,
my
it
whole
just
world
does.
went upside down.
I love doing that. You think you know what a one is?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Nope, you were hallucinating the one.
Yeah.
What are you feeling, T? You want to keep chatting? You want to have a break? What are you guys feeling?
Let's see what these folk got to ask me, man. Let's see what they're talking about. All right, because he was doing that. All right, ladies first, man. Sorry.
Thank you. Just about being multifaceted or multi-pocketed.
Yes.
And, just being a producer.
Yes.
And just being a selector.
Yes.
So being a selector, there's the DJ bit.
Yes.
And then there's also selecting music for a compilation, like the jazz compilation that you did
Yes.
years ago. So what was that process like? How do you get that opportunity? And, what was the story and like selecting?
I'll tell you right here, right now. Compilations, without question, are about fucking money. All right? Somebody gives you a body of music that you didn't have nothing to do with, and they want you to put it together, fucking do it, get your bread, and keep it moving. I'm not even going to bullshit you. I'm not even going to fuck around. It's not because no other reason. These motherfuckers say, hey, and it was a label that I respect, and I'll tell you how it was. You talking about that black jazz thing?
Yeah.
Man, flat out, point blank, period. I had like 3 black jazz records in my collection, but wanted like all of them. And the dude was like, yeah, we just bought the whole black jazz collection for $100,000 online. I was like, fuck you. How'd you do that? Where was I at? I would have took out loans. I'd have sold a car, whatever. But I was like, all right, well. He was like, well, what do you want? And I was like, give me X $1,000 and I want every one of the black jazz fucking records.
Smart.
Man, got the hard. Nah, yeah.
That's a hot comp too.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah. Yeah, but compilations are totally about you believing in that body of work that you're getting. And half the reason why they're doing it, not even half, all of the reason why they're doing it is because they know that you adding your name to it is going to give them credibility. Period. So the idea is to know and have an idea about what your name lends to something and then if it's authentic to what you fuck with. Yeah. And like, because I fuck with black jazz and I wanted it and I knew that I didn't have all this shit. Because it came to me like, we want you to do a compilation. And I was like, bet. But I ain't got no black jazz. I got like 3. Yeah. I'll be, and I was like, give me all of them and I'll come up with some shit for you. And they're like, there you go. I was like, all right, cool, we go.
What about the DJ kicks? Detroit, like Detroit
DJ
Forward,
kicks?
you repped your city.
Oh, now that one, that was a totally different one. I was like, IK7 have been hollering at me for like 15 years. And I was like, no, I'm not doing a mix for you. No, I'm not doing a mix for you. No, 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 no. COVID hit. Yeah.
C-bomb. Knew it.
COVID hit. I was like, yep. Sure will. What you want? And then I was like, but I'm going to go freak it, though. They're not going to supply me with the songs. I'm going to supply them with the songs. So I went and grabbed a couple of my buddies, got some of their shit. But then I had this young fella, Dion, who doesn't work with me anymore with this label. But at the time, he knew a whole lot of the young producers in Detroit who was up and coming and was doing shit. And I was like, hey, man, I need you to pick out some heavy, play me some shit that I don't know about. Because I'm in my own little zone making shit. There's all these people making shit. Play some shit at me. He played some shit at me. I picked from what he picked. And believe it or not, I wanted to call the compilation The Name Game. Because he basically is the one that picked out the majority shit on there. I wanted to put in there, I wanted to put Theo Parrish on the front, and then on the back I was going to fuck everybody else. Like, this shit was done by Dion Jamar, and all I did was pick out his crate, and you goofy motherfuckers think it's a Theo Parrish compilation. Again, IK7 tap my shoulder, 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 COVID hit, yo. And then I was thinking too, with Berlin and Germany's love affair with Detroit, let's make it for real and let's make it something that is based on new production. Fuck all these old fuckers like myself and everybody else that they always want to, go get the compilation from them, but you can't, can you? Because they cost too much, right? Yeah, okay, right there. You're not gonna get nothing from Carl Craig from IK7, no. You're not, because that's how they go. You're not gonna get something from Jeff. You're not gonna get nothing from none of these motherfuckers. But these youngsters, man, put them on some planes. Let them get out there. Put them on some planes. They want to go so fucking bad. They gonna find out. They want to go play the Berghain. Go play the Berghain. Hopefully you come back with everything intact. It's different over that motherfucker. It's different. It's different. It's different. It ain't like it is at home. 4 o'clock a.m. in Berlin is different than 4 o'clock a.m. everywhere else in the world. Yeah, it's different. They're liberal. And there's nothing wrong with it. But if you want to go experience that shit, I already did my rounds and shit. You can't get me on a plane to go play at the fucking Berghain. I'm one and done in that place. Nah, just one time. You ain't got to ask me back. All that's been well documented in what the fuck happened to me at the Berghain. So, you want to go find out? Go on find out. Talk to me on Detroit time after you go. You're going to see what it is. I just hope you don't go over there for chicken and beer and donut kebab. I just hope that you go over there for a little bit more than that. But that's the other part too, is I felt like it was it's always my duty to try to make as many young people that I know that are producing and doing some interesting things to give a chance to at least get the names on the map. So, having picked from the crate that a young guy that's coming up, and he's a good selector too, and that I had a lot of respect for. He brought those things to me. I picked from them, and I say, let's go. And so, but then on the other end of it, it's like, I hope I just didn't throw a whole bunch of kids to the wolves. But again, you grown. Hey, this is real life out here. It's independent music. The opportunities are few and far between. And IK7 is a huge company over there. I won't even tell you of the deal that they came back with. That was even scarier. All right, I'm gonna tell it.
Come on, spill the beans.
There are deals out there now that are STEM deals. They don't want to license your song. They want your fucking musical DNA. Okay? That's some scary shit. Imagine if you could have the stems to Nicaguela from Stevie Wonder. And what if you let AI remix that shit? Better yet, what if you let it be turned into a video game where someone could mix and match this and that and all of that with the stems to that? That's the kind of shit that they offered post that deal. I was like, and they were like, well, what about the decimal point was not right for the DNA of my songs. Oh no, you got to move that decimal point over like that for that shit. And then I went and talked to all the heavies that were on there, like this kid Deshaun. Shit, we was like, shit, we need to move. We want chips with the disc. We want our lives to change. If we gonna let the devil kiss us in the mouth, we want all types. We want our lives to change. We want our lives to change. And we went back with that deal. They were like, hell no. Like, hell no. So-and-so and so-and-so did it for way less. And we like, God, dog.
So they played themselves, right?
They sure did. But hey, what's playing yourself? Playing yourself is relative. Playing yourself is relative.
Based on what you want.
What you need. Like, I can't diss what anyone does to make themselves go and what they need, I just know what I need, and that wasn't it. So we just kept it at the IK7 thing. And they keep coming back around. Come on, Theo, sell us your DNA. Sell us your children. How much for the little girl? It's like, no. I'm not selling you my stems. Not my stems. And then they want perpetuity? My son will be mad as hell. My dad wasn't shit. He's stupid. Daddy was dumb. I thought he was smarter than this. So, but not to disrespect what they offer, but to put it in perspective, I couldn't see any of the people that I looked up to musically doing the same thing. I just couldn't. And so even though I'm nowhere near musically what I think Stevie Wonder, Prince, etc. would do, but I can imagine what they would have charged. And if I charge a third of what they would have charged and that ain't enough, there you go. Yeah.
On that,
yeah,
where you're saying you don't think you're where they were at, but where you're at right now,
mm-hmm.
Are you where you want to be?
No.
Where do you want to be?
I want to be able to make shit. I want to put it like this. I just put it like this. With playing music for people, that's one place I know I'm at in terms of my talent. Making things, I know I have a lot more growth to match where I am as a DJ. I'm getting there, but I'm not there. When I get there, then I might feel like I could do half of what I imagine those brothers would do. But that means they got a lot more catalog to do. I got a lot more chords to learn. I got a lot more. I got to be able to look up on stage. And I got to be able to do a lot.
What does your practice look like? Like if you're practicing and they're like playing,
yes.
Do you practice scales and shit, or you just like?
What I do is this: I put on a song that I know that's complicated enough to be challenged for me, and I try to play one line along with it, all the way through 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 it, in the pocket, right where it's at, all the time. Yeah. Sometimes I finish. Sometimes I'm real good at Bohannon. I can do Bohannon. I got Bohannon. I got L. I got Bohannon down. But there's a lot more complicated people out there. But that's what I do for practice on the keys a lot of times.
I'm going to switch up the topic, and I'm going to take it to education, because I know that was a huge, especially in COVID.
Yes.
You took a whole break from touring.
Yes.
And you were like, I'm going to be the ambassador of Detroit. If people want to see me play, they got to come here and see it.
Yup.
And when I spoke to you during that period, you said you're writing education modules.
Yeah, I was.
What happened?
Americans don't want to think. And I wrote education modules because of my kids. But they were more or less the framework. I thought about how I introduced them to music and put that down in writing. I feel like there are certain pieces of music that every child needs to have as a human being on the planet. Things that I was given.
What are some of them?
One piece of music that every single person on the planet needs to have heard from end to end is Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life. Period. Everybody, no exceptions. Everybody. And if you're talking about a music program, kids absolutely need that. If you can get it to them in utero, it would be most advantageous. But as soon as they get out, they need to hear that from end to end. However long it takes, everybody needs that. If you anybody that doesn't know what the fuck it is, go do that. Get that in your system. Get it in your system. Otherwise, you are missing major chapters of emotional development in terms of relation to music. Major. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, that was one. Another is Bob Marley's War album. That is another one. That's for sonics. That is for sonic placement. Very important piece. But those two pieces, they provide a framework of what music is supposed to do in a totality, except for one missing element. You have to consider also Shaka Khan in terms of the female voice, but her works, in my opinion, and only in my opinion, there isn't one album that encapsulates her essentially. You need about 4 of her albums to do that. And so that becomes less about one piece you can grab and do that, but going back in terms of what things are predicated on, I would say that those 3 are essential listening for every human being on the planet. And I was building a curriculum around what comes next, based on age, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah. The world opened back up, and it was a lot easier to pick my headphones back up than to try to convince everyone that a DJ actually is good for talking to their children. Yeah.
What about the in the 2019, YG was launching the idea of the Underground Music Academy in Detroit?
There was a mistake. I was under the impression he was making a school for children, and I meant from babies all the way up. It wasn't until I went into the space and I was like, so what's the age rate? And he was like, 18 and up. And I was like, oh, my bad.
What's that curriculum like for children? What was that in your head? How do you think it would go?
For kids?
Yeah.
You mean YG school or me?
No, you.
For the babies.
I don't know what it would do. Hopefully it wouldn't fuck them up, but I mean, it worked for my kids. I mean, I love how my sons turned out, and I played Songs to Give Your Life to him over and 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 over. He doesn't even know it. So if I play it now, he's like, you're playing that again? Like, yeah, I'm playing that again. I haven't had as much time with my daughter as I would have liked, but I know as soon as I get a hold of her, I'm cooking her with that. So it's essential listening. Yeah.
Yeah, and songs in the key of life as well. You
Yeah.
mentioned in your Airbnb interview
Yeah.
that the song S
Yeah.
is actually always. I never really thought about that.
Yeah.
S and always, but it's
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's an interesting observation.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I believe this young man had a question as well.
You were talking about spiral staircase earlier.
Yes.
And you were saying how you stopped yourself from remixing and editing
Yeah.
that any further. How
Yeah.
do you know when you get to that point where something's finished?
Gut feeling. Gut feeling. You gotta trust yourself. You gotta hear it a whole bunch of times too. You have to fucking poison yourself with your songs. And it's different than the creative process. Because here's what happens a lot of times. This is what I see with live musicians. You guys do your take and you're done. You leave the engineering up to other people. Now the Studio Red DJ MF is gonna. So like it'll be on for 4 days, 5 days, 2 weeks, and so by the time I'm done with it, it's ingrained in my head. And then at a certain point, I'm like, after you've done that process of letting it tattoo you, you leave it alone, and you wait until it sounds fresh again. And then when it sounds fresh again, whatever version sounds fresh after that, that's the fucking one. But I would also cheat code it. After I tattoo myself with it, I wait. Then I would go play it out. But during COVID, it wasn't available. Wasn't no playing out. Wouldn't see what people do. So I was like, fuck, is it good? I don't know. Is it good? I'm not sure. And so I would just have to kind of have a party in my own room. Just like, damn, that's sweet. I did that shit. I'll put that out. That's good. Yeah, so it's saturation. Yeah.
Is that how you usually get out of a rut? Like if you're making a song and you're like, no, it sounds like shit. Like do you get that anxiety in the studio?
Oh yeah.
So that's what you do? You just you leave it?
I tattoo myself and I consider it's garbage and then I walk away and I do something else non-musical. I do something stupid. I play video games. I go punch somebody. I fall down. I hurt myself. You know, I go kiss somebody I wasn't supposed to kiss. I do something dumb. I do something totally stupid. And then to ground myself, I find the thing that was grounding me, and 9 times out of 10 it was that fucked up song. And I go back. And I get right. And I say, oh shit, this song, I was supposed to stay in the house.
Yeah, you needed to be like
I shouldn't have went
off.
out, you know. No, this song was safe. I hurt myself fucking around outside with humans. I should have stayed in the house and listened to this stupid ass song. And I wouldn't have to go out and be fucked up and get a new scar in another place and let this song scar me. So
How do you when music's your full-time job but it's also something that's so close to you, so dear to your heart.
Yeah.
How do you consistently not let that overtake like your special place, like your private place?
Hobbies. You need hobbies. You fucking need hobbies. You better, and it needs to be people that do not fuck with music. Need to go do some dumb shit. Do some pointless, goofy shit and get bored with that and be like, what am I doing? Why am I running around on a field in the rain with getting kicked in the shins and shit with a ball? What's wrong with me? Like, you need footy and dumb shit, video games. You need things that are like pointlessly mind-numbing and like retarded. So, and I don't mean it in like a bad way. I mean it in like a stupid way. Like, just some dumb shit. Because if you do some dumb shit, then like it disengages your human, like, because you get all wrapped up and it's all so very when it's this music thing, right? But if you could just go like this, take that off you and go over there and you do something really pointless, the pointlessness is gonna wear out. You're gonna get bored. Hopefully whatever you do that's pointless doesn't hurt other people. And this is where becoming a music person is very dangerous. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're halfway successful, there's people that recognize you for what it is that you're doing. And if they catch you out doing dumb shit, and you do some dumb shit with them, now you kind of polluted some shit. Now you done kind of fucked up. And that's how you get in trouble with the law. And that's when people start accusing you of being Mr. Boogeyman and you a creep and shit, because you done took the magic of what it is, which is being a conduit, and you perverted it. Because now you've localized it into your fucking ego. And that's always a dangerous place. Put your ego in a rubber room somewhere. Whatever those activities are, make sure it don't hurt nobody. You got to be responsible about being a fucking conduit or being on the path to becoming a conduit. It's your job. Not your mama's, not your girlfriend's, nobody's. You. You made those beats. You sang those songs. Fucking conduct your shit. Conduct your ego. Realize it's bigger than just about everybody else in the room who doesn't do that. So be fucking nice to the regular people you meet. Well, I'm an artist. Your mama don't care. Take the trash out. Your sister don't give a fuck. Listen to her dumb story about her boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Your little brother don't give a shit. Yeah, he's fucked up. Clean him up, man. Get him together. Tell him to take a bath. Do something. But be a responsible enough individual to realize that you're gifted and that you're on a path that maybe not bring you a lot of money, but it sure does give you influence, and it sure does make people feel good if you're doing it right. And realize it's not a career, it's a fucking calling.
Do you think all artists have responsibility in that way?
Goddamn right. Goddamn right. You're damn right. You have to take it that seriously. Otherwise, you're wasting people's time. You're wasting your own time. Life is like that. It's gone. It's gone. Everybody in this room, right now, I could pretty much say because of the size of everyone anyway, everybody's probably pretty much going to make it home okay. Double the room, triple the room, quadruple the room. Now what? Just by the law of numbers, somebody's life is maybe not going to be there the next fucking day. That's why I show up and play my ass off. Because I don't fucking know. There were 1,500 plus in the room. Just by the law of numbers, somebody was different by the time Monday comes around today. So I hope I did my fucking job. And I hope I gave my best. You understand? And that goes for all of us. That goes for all of us. So when you are not engaging in your practice, and it is practice. It's not perfection, it's practice. You only know what you know as well as you know it. There's so much more. And if you think you're the dopest, you just haven't listened to enough music. There's some bad motherfuckers out there, and you can't fuck with them. I don't care what you're doing. And that goes from DJing and everything else. There's some baddies out there. You just don't know about them. Get good at what you do and expand it. Whatever you're weak at, do it better. But that does do a thing where you're caught in that rut and you got to break out of it. Hobbies. Knit some shit. Knit some shit. Make a sweater. Make a fucking sweater. How many people here can make a fucking sweater? Hardly nobody. I bet nobody in this bitch can make a sweater. Exactly. That's what I thought.
Blow it.
Bunch of music fucks in here. Bunch of arrogant fuckers in here. What about my chords and my melodies? Fuck your chords and your melodies. Can you make a good sandwich? You know what I'm saying? You know how to change a diaper. You know, get involved with one of your cousins or uncles or brothers or what is your little brothers. Man. Learn how to change a diaper right. Some humbling shit. That'll humble you. Getting like intimate with somebody's feces and shit. And not because it's fun and shit. Because
it's because you ain't shit.
You know what I mean? You doing it because it's needed for a child, you know, some shit like that. That'll get you right. Then I'm going back to my beats. Oh shit. I'm not ready for I'm going back to my beats, man.
Nappy changing has a tectonic influence on making music.
Yeah, man, that is so simple, you know. It's so simple. Yes.
Do you want to? Here, I'll give you the mic.
Right on.
It's recorded.
Yeah.
I was already thinking about this question. Then when you said tectonic, it just kind of like had to ask it. I was thinking about like in music, you use spatial terms as metaphors, maybe like spiral staircase or something like that. But also when you're playing, you like change the shape of a room, whether that's through like the way you change how people move in that space, like through dancing, or if it's through perception. How like, yeah, the other night, for me, the room just kept changing, you know, shape, and I guess I was thinking about how much that's a byproduct of your musical process or practice, and how much it is like do you have devices that you use when you're playing to do that intentionally?
The devices?
Yeah, do you have like any musical devices that you use throughout your set to intentionally change the shape?
You mean conceptual devices or physical devices?
Like you might play a different track, or you know that has a different like pace or intensity or something.
Oh, well, yeah. The isonol, the isolator. I use that a lot, but then conceptually, juxtaposition is a big thing of mine. I love to have something that might be kind of organic, and I'll come over with hammers. I'll put something inorganic on top of something organic. I love that. Juxtaposition is always a fun thing, but physically, it's just the isonol. Yeah.
For those of us that don't that aren't DJs,
Yeah. Oh.
no, not that many people in this room probably,
Oh.
but
Isonol.
tell us about your custom isonol.
Oh,
And
my
why did you why is that?
Why?
Because that's your instrument.
Oh,
like,
yeah, it is.
You play these songs like an instrument on that mixer. So how does this piece of gear contribute to that?
I'll tell you.
Tell me, Theo.
Back in the day, there was a DJ. There was several DJs in Chicago that mastered the use of EQ, and it started from what I can remember. This mixer called Newmark, and Newmark, and this was for my generation. There were ones that were older that just had the bass and the treble, and it wasn't an isolator per se. Where the isolator totally deletes certain parts of the frequency range. This was more or less just an EQ. There was this thing called a Newmark, which was revolutionary. And so now you had 7 bands that you could amplify or delete. Not necessarily delete, but just lessen the amplification or just turn it down. So you had this one ability to accentuate or shift parts of the song given your timing and your ability to move these EQ things around. Technology started to move further and further along, and so then they literally started to become something called a crossover. So cats would usually use the crossover to decide when to bring the bass in at certain points for emphasis on a song. So they would do it during songs that didn't really have a lot of bass presence, and so they noticed that in Chicago, when you had bass presence, the room went nutty. But if you kept the bass present at a constant level, it would kind of lose its effect on people, and people really didn't have a jump up effect. But if you deleted it and then you popped it in there, it was like, pow, ooh, shit.
Kick him in the ass with it.
That's right. It's like a kick in the ass.
But it also it changes the shape of the room. You're right in observing that.
Right. Now
It's,
that was, yes.
Conducting the whole room.
It's moving around. Now, back in the day, it was just as simple as emphasizing on the low end. As the technology grew, it started to become more of an idea of, okay, now we're taking everything out except just the highs. And so then the dynamics in the room started to become very interesting, right? So if you think of your chakras, right, there's, like I would say they say that there's 7 or so. I'd say there's 12, because we're talking about there being way below and then way above, right? If you take I don't know the math, but if you take a speaker system and you make it strong enough so that it overpowers the human body in terms of your hearing, you can almost tell that when you're moving the frequencies around and you have enough synergy in the room, you can start to unlock a certain amount of emotional trauma with people. potentially. If the songs you're playing are played with enough cohesion, and there's enough of the people around you that are feeling the same way, and that if the person that is playing the record actually feels the same way about it too. And so another thing that happens is if, like for instance, if I'm into it and y'all into it and the song and everybody's feeling it, I get out the way. And in doing that, if I'm working the cue at the same time, then I'll start to feel emotional things through it. Then the song starts playing itself. And so this tool, the ISO, allows me to deliver the sonic information in that kind of environment where the speakers are literally, and the sound is literally bigger than everyone in the room. That causes a dangerous situation because I can hurt people. But then it also does a thing because now you have to trust me. If the sound isn't deleterious or potentially can hurt you, then there's no reason for you to trust me. But if I know that you're needing to get something off, and if you come and spending your time, not your money, your time, and the system is there, and everyone else is there, and we're all as one at certain moments, Lord of mercy. Now we get some shit going on. And now the ability for you to let go of some kind of pain you had, or to feel joy, or find that collective place where you don't even know why. You just, oh shit. Or you fucking lose a tear. Oh my God, I can't believe this motherfucker playing opera right now. Like, all those different things, the juxtaposition, weird shit can happen. But the key about something about me playing opera at that point, it has to be natural to that point. Otherwise, those things don't happen. So there's always a disconnect and a connect. It's hard to, that's why smaller rooms as a DJ are easier to play. Often in that kind of emotional setting. That's why the more people there are, because of dynamically, it's hard for there to be, it's more of a show than it is a party. It's difficult. It's a give and take. Smaller the room, the more collective understanding and emotional coherency between everyone else. It's easier for a smaller room to have that same, everybody going nuts at the same time feeling. But if you got more people, you got more disparate things, sound may not necessarily be as dangerous to everyone at the same moment. So that little machine there allows me to be able to speak my little point. Now the whole point is about that is you can become a knob gobbler. It's easy to become a knob gobbler. That's a problem. I'm guilty. I can become a knob gobbler. The beauty of that machine is that it's so precise that you don't have to be a knob gobbler to get a lot out of a song. So you can just move it a little bit, just a bit. You may not need so much. And other times but you have to, but it's better if I'm getting to that moment in an inspirational setting as opposed to it being showy. Like, I'm gonna show these people I know how to. Like, that's different than the song calling for that. So it's a matter of honesty, really. Then it's like, is it really asking me to do all that shit? And there's the problem with playing a lot. You play a lot, and you get used to that. People waiting for you to wait. He's gonna knob gobble right now. Here he comes. He's gonna knob gobble. When he knob gobbles, I'm with it. And then like you decide you're not. There was a whole point where I was out playing where I would just, it would go from knob gobbling or they're waiting for you to jump up and down like an idiot. Like, he isn't going crazy yet, so I'm not going to dance. So I would just go up there and be like, they're waiting for me to start jumping around out here. I'm not going to jump around at all. And they'd be sitting there like, the song is going crazy in the room. It's bonkers. It's just, but I'm just, and they're like, and I'm going, all that shit. So it becomes a matter of honesty. And like I said before, DJs are not required to be very honest when they're playing. They're just not.
Who do you reckon was your most influential knob gobbler? Well, like, who, like, if you're like, that's the perfect EQing, like, that's, because the fine line between knob gobbling and playing this shit like an instrument, who do you reckon nailed it?
Lee Collins. Lee Collins. He is hands down the most tasteful person behind the EQ. He does not knob gobble at all. He is so tasteful. He beats just what he needs to beat when he does it. He is extremely tasteful and just emotional enough. Yeah, he's my Lee Collins.
A+ to Lee Collins.
Lee Collins. Salute, my brother. Yes.
In the studio, that kind of changes though, because you can do it over a whole album, like playing with the tension and the how you're going to kick someone in the guts with it.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
With the process, how does it change? Like, do you want to rely on EQ, or is it, I mean, you create a lot of tension in like having like catastrophe or tension is like a motif in a lot of your records.
Yes.
Before there's this big sort of catharsis. You're doing both you're doing it in the DJ world, but you're doing it in the studio.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite thing about it is that you have this ability to reach someone's nervous system with the music, not just their emotions with the words or the message or just like the emotion of the song or whatever, but you have this ability to make people feel like extreme tension or stress or like relief.
Yes.
Or acceptance.
Yes.
And one of the most amazing works, I felt like a bloody tsunami, was the SoundCloud thing in 2020.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys catch that?
We got one guy in the back there, yeah. That was interesting. That was a moment because it was based around a couple of heavy things that happened. COVID had hit, and George Floyd situation was present in America, and personally, I had a lot of dangerous situations with the police happen to me in my life, and I realized as dangerous as they were, I was still here to tell the tale, and I felt like two things. COVID showed me how irrelevant dance music was in the light of things being serious in the world, and how absolutely unnecessary everything I was doing was, which is very, very good to know, which allowed me to think about education and what music was, and also made me think about what I wasn't saying when I was out here playing this music for people as a cultural being, as a representative of my African Americanness. People don't want to hear you play things having to do with saving your culture when you over there in Europe. They want to hear that shit. Typically. Just typically. They don't want to hear that shit. Your blackness is irrelevant to the process. Do that dance. Play that stuff. It's less about you connecting than it's about you displaying what it is that they want to hear. Living up to their fantasies almost sometimes. So I found myself over time dumbing myself down. Why would I play anything more than what I would think work on the floor? Why would I start storytelling even though that's what I'm compelled to do? Why would I demand more time other than an hour? Why would I ask for 3 hours? Why would I ask for 3? Then what's that about? Why not distill it? Why not get my money for the least amount of time? Why don't I play 4 places in a weekend as opposed to 2? Why not just ask for an hour set? Why don't I just use chipsticks? It starts to become now all these records I got at home stay at home. Now I have no reason to learn this record, that record, that record. My syntax starts to suffer. Why? Because I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't want to clear the floor. And that's what was happening before COVID hit. And that made me sit my ass down. And then I thought, fuck Europe. And fuck everybody over there that doesn't realize that this is an American art form, an African American art form based on segregation in 2 cities. 2. Then it went to the other places. 1985, 86, house music and techno out of Detroit and Chicago. New York was doing freestyle. Jersey was starting it. Wasn't nothing popping in LA, wasn't nothing popular in Atlanta. It's the nexus of it. Why can't we start talking about that? If they killing us like this, I can't say nothing? I went back to when I was at this party. And I was sitting outside, and it was before I was Theo Parrish, like that. I was still local. And I saw these 4 big DJ named dudes. And they had like these fancy shirts on. And they had all this jewelry. But one thing I noticed was they ain't had no socks on. I was like, where are they socks? No, like, where are they socks? Because I'm from Chicago, South Side. And when I moved to Detroit, I moved to 7 Mile, Livernois area. If you ain't got no socks, you a liability out here. Where the fuck are your socks? You can't run after a bus. You can't win no fight. You can't hop a fence. You can't run from a dog. You can't even be in the rain. You're not ready to put in a hard day's work. You are a liability. Try to talk to a girl without no socks on. Where I'm from. Bruh, where are your socks? You ain't got no socks on. You a man of leisure. And there's nothing wrong with being a man of leisure. But what I couldn't figure out was, you mean tell me if I go over here and start DJing and shit, they gonna take my socks? I ain't gonna get no respect at home. Next thing I know, I'm gonna come back without no socks on. Cause here's the thing, if you ain't got no socks, right? There ain't no reason for your pants to be over your fucking shoes no more. Now you gonna start wearing pants that show off your ankles. And you gonna start wearing shoes that don't need socks. You can't go pump no gas. You can't go to the store. You a liability. You can't go to the store. You can't go to the store. Not to the liquor store. You can go to the mall. You can't go to the store. Cause you're gonna get jumped at the gas station without no socks on. Cause the kind of shirt that go with the pants that ain't got the socks and the shoes, that shirt, you got your taco meat out. You know what I mean? You like this, you shiny, you gonna get jumped. That's not, and it has nothing to do with anybody's predilections or who they want to go home with. It's just an idea that knowing that this music is from these areas and is based on this thing, it was incongruent for me. But what that had to do is the mistake I was making was that's money. That's just money. And what I didn't realize too was when you get over there as an American, you are representing every single American fantasy, black American fantasy that these people have about you. And every other black American they ever come across. So you want to, when you go over there and you ain't got no socks, you're trying just to not have those conversations. You're on the plane, they're like, so, what do you do? And so I got my socks on, and I'm like, the fuck you mean? The fuck you asking me questions for? I ain't asking you what the fuck you doing. You going where the fuck you going. I'm going where the fuck I'm going. I bought my ticket. You got your ticket. Don't ask me shit. I'm tired as hell. I'm trying to go to sleep. They want you to make them feel comfortable. You know? I'm like, no. But if you ain't got no socks on, ain't no questions. They like, he's fine. He's okay. Look at him. He's not a threat. He has no socks on. It's okay. And so you start to see the theory that when you can afford the whole uniform for what an acceptable black American is, you start to realize that you have a compromise to make or not. Because these were the days before there was a lot of international travel for brothers, and like that you're gonna get judged for looking like somebody from the quote unquote hood. And so you start to see the theory. You just simply don't want to have those conversations. So I get it. I got it, but I didn't get it until after I started moving. But I still kept my fucking socks on. Because I like this stuff. I like to do this. They be like, so what do you do? It's like, I'm a brain surgeon. I'm like, what? I'm a brain surgeon. I work on your daughter's brain when I get off with this music. Like, I fuck with her head up. You know, they're like, oh, shit. I wasn't ready for that shit. I'm a brain. They weren't ready for that. You know, and so I like to fuck with people, cause I do. I love messing with people, cause if you can make them think twice, then they're all fucked up later, and you're like, yeah, and they're like, well, I'm not. Then they'll never ask you again, you know, and they'll think twice about it, because that's better to me than not having my socks on. Cause what if I get over there and I get into some shit like I have? I've gotten like low key. I've gotten into more physical altercations outside the country as opposed to inside Detroit, you know, last, I don't know, 20 years than I have in my whole life. And that's because I'm representing blackness, and somebody want to test it. Hey, there's a black guy over there. I'm going to see if yeah. I mean, I've had bouncers at the club that I was playing at in France want to fight me. I had my socks on. He found out. I'm going to make it home every time. And like those sort of things happen. And you don't want that to happen, but it happens. And, you know, it's unfortunate that this is what the world is. But during that whole thing with what I call it Gorgeous Monsters, that the whole project, the reason why I did that was because I needed to illustrate the nuance of these things, and that thank God that I live to tell the tale about these things. But dance music and this whole going over that thing, oh man, there's so much racism in this shit. Oh God, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I did that because I decided I was not going out again. I was going to retire. It's done. Finished. Yeah, until I ran out of my savings. Until I realized that it's kind of early for me to write a book that people gonna buy. It's not quite time yet. It's not quite there. It's not quite time. No. You gotta pick the headphones back up and get up out here. You know, you can't tell your kids, the reason you ain't go to college because I stood on my ground. I kept my socks on. Yeah, no, that's not happening. So I decidedly took a big break from getting on planes because there was nothing to. I found that extended plane air travel is not good for your health in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Also found out this lifestyle also deletes a couple things from you. Very difficult to have any lasting interpersonal relationships with anyone you care about. That's also because the travel takes away your emotional depth. Code gets eroded by the road. The things that you would do outside your home, you might think about doing when you won't be held to task for those things. You have to be very, very disciplined. But at the same time, what do you do when you're over there? You can't just cut yourself off from life. So it's a very, very disciplined thing is what I would do. I would go out. I wouldn't even come out the hotel. I stay. No, I ain't going out there. I'm getting home. Keep my socks on. No. Room service, fuck that. Not going outside. Anything could happen. Because when I would go outside, like when I went outside once in Germany, Polizei pulled up and just motioned for me to get in the van. No questions asked. I was like, fuck, it's like that. Just rolled up. I'm walking around. Wow, they got fries everywhere in Germany. I could buy fries at 4 o'clock in the night. This is crazy. First time, oh shit, I'm all geeked. I'm walking across the street. They just pulled up. No sirens lit. One hops out, the other whips around. I'm like, shit, they got their little things out, poking my hand up. And I'm like, what the? Whoa. Hey. And the other one is just motioning for me to get in the van. No questions asked. I was thinking to myself, they ain't got no guns. I'm not getting in the van. I'm going to hit the shit out of one of these motherfuckers, and I'm going to see how fast they are. They're going to throw me in that van. Fuck that. I'm getting home. I bet you I'll make it to the park. They ran my pockets. I had a whole bunch of those Euro dollars in my pocket. They would turn into coins because I don't know no better than they just buying shit and it's just coins, a whole bunch of coins. And so I had my passport. I was like, American passport. I'm real good in American then. I'm like, yeah, passport, American. No, I'm not getting in the van. Fuck you. No. They took my shit out. Threw it on the ground. All my coins out there. Saw my passport, looked at it, threw it on the ground too. Said a word I had never heard before. And I didn't know what it meant. Schwarzer. I was like, what is a Schwarzer? So they threw it on the ground and they took off, and I gathered up all my shit and my passport, and I walked back to the place I was staying in the hotel, and I said, excuse me, what does Schwarzer mean? To the guy in the front desk. He's like, it's a bad word. And I was like, what kind of bad word, man? Shit, it's a bad word for blacks. And I was like, okay. So from now on, I'm never leaving the hotel when I come play over at this motherfucking place. Because this is what it is. When I was at the Berghain, I got told stop playing too much soul while I was playing Jay Dilla. Yeah. Then when I went downstairs after I stopped playing, I watched this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guy who's a resident there now, or was anyway. He's built his career off being a resident there. I ain't gonna say his name. I watched him save a guy's life because he was having a really bad time. He was having a seizure. I was instructed by him to go over to the bouncer outside this club and ask him to move the line because the ambulance was coming. I was like, hey man, can you move the line? Big burly white boy. I'm not moving the line. For what? I was like, somebody's over there dying. He was like, someone dies over there every week. I was like, wow. So then the ambulance came and the line moved itself, so it was fine. The guy made it. But I was like, I'm never playing this place again. That was about, 17 years ago by now. But every single black DJ has gone and played there and continues to play there, and it's a known place where you can hear good old-fashioned soul. And they've changed ownership since then. The guy that said that is gone. But the fact of the matter remains that this is a black American culture that has been moved away from where the roots are, but yet and still on the south side of Chicago, where I come up from. Guess what they listen to? Drill music. Anyone know what drill music is? Everybody knows what it means. It's gun talk, period. How many kills do you have? That's where the birthplace of house music is now promoting to the kids that are my son's age. So you can imagine how that kind of fucks with me. It fucks with me. So I had to say something. And I had to put it out there. I had to put it out there for free. And to put it out there for free meant that it was something in tribute to what we've gone through collectively as best I could. I did. It was long. It was exhausting. It was a 6-part series because I went to talk about every fucked up thing that happened to me on the road and all types of guns everywhere. Guess where I didn't have any stories from? Australia, New Zealand. Now, some stuff happened to a couple friends of mine, yeah, but didn't happen to me. Doesn't mean that it don't exist. And so someone asked me once, well, what would I suggest anyone white to do to counteract that shit? Find that racist motherfucker you know is racist and correct them. Done deal. Each one teach one. That's how you do that. Make it uncomfortable for them. Just make it uncomfortable. Call them up. Get to that uncle or that auntie that you don't fuck with and like fuck with them. just make it uncomfortable for them. Hey, you know I went on a date with a black man yesterday. It was great. You know, and then saying to be level at us too. Because we got it on our side of the coin too, but it's a little different. It's a little different. Just a little different. You know, so it's different when it's balances of power. And it's very unique when you're talking about the regionalized idea of what culture is and isn't. Because there's a difference between slavery and colonialism. But that becomes a whole nother bag. But all I wanted to do then was just illustrate that regardless of whatever I've been through in terms of racism was not as bad as being choked out. Period. You know. And everybody was quiet in the dance music world about that shit. Every release I did, RA's like, hey, Theo, this is good. I was like, we ain't talking about that shit. No. And they let me know something right there that, it's kind of funky out here with that shit.
Not one like dance music media platform stood with you on that release.
No, not really. Not that I know of. Not that I can recall. I might be wrong though. I think there was a mention of it in RA. There might have been a mention, but nobody said nothing. Nobody. There wasn't no talking about this shit. Nope.
It's really disappointing because it was kind of the most compassionate thing. You could have, like, you spent hours. It was 3 hours of mixed media, like footage, recordings. Yeah. So many, like, it just hit you like a ton of bricks, and then at the end, like, came to a sort of resolution, or like not a resolution, but like it just made you feel super stressed out, and then then want to fix something, want like opening the conversation up, and especially about dance music and its politics, and that's really fucking disappointing that the media shit, because
but not surprising.
No.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for making it, because it was that's emotionally sounded exhausting, and it's really special.
Nah, thank you so much. Oh my God! Yeah.
My eyeballs feel like the desert, hey, from that
yeah.
Sorry. Is anyone else got something they want to ask Theo?
Anything. We go. Come on now. We can't end it on that. Everybody like, no, I ain't asking shit. Yes.
Just like a small history lesson, maybe.
Yeah.
I moved to London in 2012, and I only managed to go there once in Shoreditch.
Oh, wow.
And it was Plastic People.
Yes, sir.
And I wanted to ask you specifically what that place meant to you, at least, for forward-thinking electronic music.
Oh, my God.
Because it's kind of like an institution.
Yes. I'll tell you this. I cut my teeth in 2 places on the planet because of what the sound did in that room. That's probably that I held that residency for 7 years, and that's the longest residency I had anywhere. And I reckon it'll be the longest one. It was ridiculous. The sound in there was absolutely ridiculous. I was able to get away with just about anything, which is a good and a bad thing. Because there's certain things you're not supposed to be able to get away with very easily. I do think that there needs to be a level of accountability, but that was the kind of place where I didn't have to be accountable, and because the sound was so ridiculous. And I love the attitude there, especially the first iteration of it. It went through about 3 iterations, and they changed the sound 3 times. It never eclipsed the first sound system that was in there. It was ridiculous. It was the kind of system I was talking about where it could hurt you, and the room was out of here. It was my little experimental thing. That's why I cut my teeth on a lot of jazz, a lot of different reggae, experimental things, ambient things. I got to open up and really learn storytelling. And also energetics as a DJ. There's a lot of idea of different. I look at certain songs as colors. Certain things have a certain amount of resonance that are blue, purple, orange, red, etc. Texturally and energetically.
Do you have synesthesia?
I don't know.
It's when you see like music, you see colors.
I hear colors.
Yeah.
I hear colors. You're a blue, man. You're a green. It sounds like mauve.
I'm that hippie bitch that's like, it's the navy blue song.
That's a navy blue song. No, it's more the idea of it being very basic. Me actually putting color codes on songs as opposed to me hearing them and seeing them. When I hear songs, I fucking hear songs. If I see colors, it's because some shit is colored in the room. I don't necessarily. I'm not good. I don't necessarily have synesthesia, but what I will do is say, okay, if something has a certain amount of aggression and energy, it feels like a red. If it's like a little bit less than that, it doesn't necessarily have aggression, but it has energy, that's an orange. If it has energy, no aggression, it's a yellow. A green is somewhere where it can go either way. A green can do both. There's more up-tempo greens for me than there are low-tempo greens. Browns have down-tempo because it's doo-doo. I mean, like it's really kind of goofy how they color code things. But I only did that for about 4 years. That changed. There was just some very simplistic way of organizing records because I was bringing a significant amount of things, and I was like, how do I organize this shit? Oh shit! So I was like, in my box, I have from reds all the way down to hues and all the way down like that, right? But then after a while, there were things that I was able to pull off that didn't make sense. How the fuck I make a brown work with a red? Shit. How'd I do that? How? Because it was double timed. That's where I started getting into being able to bring the reggae into techno and shit like that because it's. So I was doing a lot of shit like that last night, or no, the other night, where like it'd be something playing and tempo's going like that, and there was a point where it was flying up in there. We were like, what the fuck is he doing? He's going, he doesn't play like this. Like, yeah, I do. I just don't know I do. Like, I get up there, and then here comes this reggae on top, and then we're back down, and now we're turning corners and shit like that. But I learned most of that at Plastic fucking People. Oh no, I learned the balls to be like that at Plastic People. The 8-hour sets are pretty much recent. That's since COVID. And after COVID, I decided to go balls to the wall and say, fuck a 4-hour set. Give me an 8-hour set. I'm going to learn. I'm going to force myself to learn these fucking records and put them together in a coherent thing. So that's reactive. And so the night that I had there went from, in Detroit, unlike Plastic People, where I'll come in as like more or less a party night, I didn't have 8 hours. I had a much shorter amount of time, comparatively speaking. So I was coming in there cooking and getting out of there. So I might do a little bit of thing where I cook and then I fall down and wake up and cook again. But with an 8-hour set, you're walking people into the whole experience. So like the idea is like, you got people coming in, they coming off work. They're not gonna come in and just start, unless they own some shit. And that's the people need to go sit their ass down somewhere, you know. But if you're coming in and you're just checking some things out, then let's have some tea. What y'all talking about? Let's hang out. How you doing? All right, yeah, good to see you. That kind of shit. And then after a while, you start to move it in. Now we're grooving. It's like, okay, we're going to dance a little bit. All right. Okay, we moving now. Like, okay, we moving now. Like, oh, shit, we moving now, baby. And then the room start to ask. You got to wait for the room to ask you what it wants. And if it isn't full and nobody knows yet, then you don't know either. So keep it question marky. Let it fuck around with you. Play, have fun with it. You know what I mean? But I don't know if I answered your question. Yeah.
How do you tell what they want?
You feel it. You feel it. You feel it. You look around. You pay attention. You see what people are doing in the room. You see if there's conversation. You see if they're paying attention to you. You see if they're paying attention to each other. You can sometimes sense if you have enough people in the room, you can sense tension. You can sense emotional engagement. You can sense readiness. Some places are more ready than others. Melbourne is remarkably ready for outsiders. I don't know how it is for the homegrown. I found that most places are very different with people that are from there than people that are from other places. You guys are remarkably open when you walk in, but you're honest. You're honest. You're not gonna start grooving until the party's there yet. You're just not, and I love that. There's an honesty there, and I appreciate that. You know, but it's really just looking around and seeing what people are doing with each other. Not so much with the music, but with each other. It's like I noticed there were couples there holding each other. There were people sitting down. There was some people off to the side. It's like, yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. This is fresh. And then they start coming in. Then when they started to get packed, I was like, oh, shit. Then they got packed. And I was like, God damn. I'm in here. And then people start raging. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Get the moving up in here. So, yeah.
We're glad you like it here. We just want you to keep coming back forever.
Well, shit, I'm going to keep going back as long as y'all have me, so I'm with it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Thank y'all. You guys are sweet.